Yeah, I mean, there's a verse that comes up immediately.
Mhm.
It's Psalm 25:1.
Mhm.
And David says, "To you, O God, I lift up my soul."
Wow.
And then he says, "My soul waits in silence
Mm.
for God alone,"
Yeah.
which is very interesting. It's the alone that's important.
Yeah.
Because if we're looking for God and
Yeah.
then a lot of times we sabotage our prayer life, our communion life with God. It's because we're not just looking for Him,
Yeah.
we're looking for Him and. And so my soul waits in silence for God alone.
Yeah.
This is very important. This one word in there.
Being alone.
It's just you, Lord. Yeah, alone and you only.
Amen.
So this is very important, I think, for prayer. A lot of people go into prayer and they leave the same way they came in because they did everything but adore Him.
Wow.
So I think adoration is the key.
Yeah.
I think it's the link.
Yeah.
It's how the soul clings to God. It's
Yeah.
how the soul remains clinging to God. And so I would say that if I found any key at all
Mm.
to the receptivity of my soul opening to the nearness of God that's already here, it is adoration.
Wow.
Letting my heart go up to Him. I find one thing about Him is that he's such a lover
Yeah.
that one simple "I love you" is worth tons and tons of hours of striving.
Wow.
If you just simply say, "Lord, I love you and I long for you." Oh boy, he can't help it.
Yeah.
The Psalm of Solomon says, "You've made my heart skip
Yeah.
with just one glance of your eye." In other words, when you gave me all your attention,
Yeah.
oh, I couldn't even help. I rush in like a knight jumping over the hills to come and be with you. You know?
Wow. Yeah, I remember when you were teaching on prayer during the CFAN apprenticeship, and you would teach us to begin to adore Him
Yeah.
and worship Him. That really unlocked something for me to just not go in striving, but just to go in and loving.
Yes.
Thank you, Jesus. We worship you. You're holy. You're so wonderful. You know,
Yeah.
and you just start to adore Him, and that really changed a lot for me. So I wonder if there's probably somebody watching, and I love this quote of yours. You said Jesus can't be all to you unless He's only to you,
Yeah.
right? And I wonder if there's maybe some people watching that they know all about Jesus,
Yeah.
but He's not all to them. He's not only to them. And maybe you could just take a few moments and talk to them and lead them to Jesus.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just in this camera.
So a lot of people are looking for a testimony that has to do with being in a bad place and God bringing them to a good place. But the reality is this: Jesus didn't come to make bad people into good people. He came to make dead people come to life. You don't need God because you're bad. You need God because you're dead. And I'll tell you this: the only way for your soul to be satisfied the way that it was made to be satisfied is for it to be laid at the feet of Jesus. Here is the origin of most people's issues and struggles and strivings and unnecessary confrontations with themselves and others. It's simply this: they're sitting on the throne and they're not letting Him sit on the throne. It is humility, bringing yourself down before the Lord, that is the key. Andrew Murray said humility is the displacement of self and the enthronement of God. And you're never more humble than when you adore Him. Let me just give this to you. If you will put everything away, literally all your cares, all your concerns, all your striving, your stresses, even the issues that you want to see God fix, if you put everything down at His feet and say, "I give everything over to you, the entirety of my life, I give it to you, and I give you the throne of my heart," you will find that He will rush in and fill your heart with His presence. He will wash over you because you've given Him the lordship of your life, and you'll find that the key that you were always looking for was just Him all along. "Come to me, all ye who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest." This is the promise of the Lord. And I encourage you, those of you that are watching right now, come to Jesus. Literally lay everything down and let Him love you, and you'll find, like I said before, that He is the answer that you've been looking for. Matthew chapter 6, verse 6, Jesus speaks to us about prayer. And he says, when you pray, go into your most private room and closing the door, pray to your Father who sees in secret. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you in the open. This actual text is what the entire course is going to be driving home. We must spend time with God. We're going to talk practically about how to experience Him, experiencing and enjoying God from the Scriptures. Thank you so much for signing up. I know the Lord is going to do something incredible in your life.